Hey y'all, what's good, what's poppin'? So for today's video, I'm gonna be doing a subscriber request. So I had a subscriber ask me if I could do a video where I do my makeup following TikTok hacks. I have seen some videos people have done where they tried these viral TikTok hacks, and honestly, some of them look really scary. Like I seen the one where people use a lipstick as a blush and they'll apply it to like their whole face and do the foundation on top. And even though it usually comes out looking all right at the end of the day, a lot of these TikTok hacks, I just look at them and I'm like, what's even the point? But that being said, I did go ahead and look through TikTok. I did scroll through some makeup hacks, and I did manage to create a little playlist of some TikToks I want to go ahead and try, some makeup techniques I'm going to go ahead and try today to create this look for y'all. And I really want to see if these TikTok makeup hacks, if there's any credibility to them, if they hold any weight. Are they actually going to take my makeup to the next level, or is it all just bad advice and flops? We're going to figure it out today. Are TikTok makeup hacks any good or not? So if you're interested to see that, be sure to stick around till the end of the video. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Before we do that, I do just want to say, if y'all enjoyed this video, if you could leave a like down below, it means so much. I want to say thank you to all my new and returning subscribers out there. Thank y'all so much for sticking around, supporting my content, and helping me to grow my channel. If you are new here and you haven't already, please be sure to just go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell button as well, so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's get into it. All right, y'all, so I'm ready to go ahead and just start getting into the makeup look. So I've gone ahead and scrolled through TikToks. I just searched up some makeup hacks, and then I searched some specific ones for things like bronzer and stuff like that. So I've kind of curated a little collection of the TikToks I'm going to be following today, so I'm just going to go ahead and start going through them now.
Here's some makeup hacks that you need to add to your routine right now. Your foundation will turn out better if you correct your spots before you apply foundation with concealer. Waiting for the concealer to dry for a few seconds and then blending it out with the brush actually makes it more full coverage.
So this isn't really much of a hack, at least not one that I haven't tried yet. I already do this pretty much. I go ahead and apply my concealer, let it set, and then blend it out. And more recently, I've been doing it before my foundation too. But I am following these TikToks, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just apply the concealer where I need it. Once I've concealed all my spots, I'm just gonna go ahead and let it set for a second before I blend it out. That way, like she said in the TikTok, it's just a little bit more full coverage, and that way I can go in with a little bit less of a foundation product later, so I'm not wearing as much makeup. Okay, so I've gone ahead and concealed all the spots that I want to go ahead and correct. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and let this set for a minute. So now I'm going to move on to something else while I'm letting the concealer set, and I'm going to go ahead and do my brows real quick, and I have just a TikTok for that.
30 for 35. You might need a seatbelt when I ride it. I'ma leave it open like a door, come inside it. Even though I'm wifey, you could hit it like a side chick. Don't need no side dick, no. Got the neighbors yelling earthquake. 4.5 wanna make the best shake. Shut it down heavy, even though it's lightweight. Yeah, you started at midnight.
Okay, so for this TikTok hack, again, this isn't really much of a hack per se. It basically just looks like a soap brow technique, and this has been around for a while on YouTube. I've seen so many people do soap brow videos. Personally, I've never done a soap brow look. I'm not a big fan of the brushed up brow look on me personally. I think it looks beautiful on other people, but I just haven't really tried it on my brow. I prefer to have them more of like this sort of laid, flat sort of look. But you know what, for the spirit of things, we're following TikTok makeup hacks, so I'm gonna go ahead and try out this technique for y'all and see how it works. I am just gonna change it up a little bit with what I have here at home. I don't want to be putting soap on my brows personally, so luckily I have something that works pretty similarly. So I'm gonna take this Patrick Ta brow shaping wax and this e.l.f. spoolie. I'm gonna go ahead and wet this, run it through the shaping wax, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do the soap brow method like she did in the TikTok. So I've dampened my spoolie and I'm running it through the brow wax, and I'm just gonna go ahead and work that through the brows like she did in the video. So it looks like she really like worked it back through the brow like so, to just really get all the product in there. And then once she had it worked through her brow, she went ahead and brushed it straight up. Ooh, baby girl, what is going on here? Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. I feel like I get these like spider leg looking things, and I don't like that. But then she did go ahead and do this thing where she pressed up, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if that helps at all. Maybe. Ooh, okay, maybe I just went in with way too much product. Okay, actually, once I go ahead and brush them up flat against the skin like this with the brush, I actually don't hate it. So I brushed it over to the side like this, so it's still got, you know, like that definition. It's still nice and neat how I like it, but it is also kind of spiking up. It's got some volume, so I'm gonna just try to emulate the same technique over on this brow. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a lighter hand on the brow gel. I feel like I went a little heavy on the other brow. I just feel like my brows aren't on the same page because I feel like it was just so much harder to do it with this one than this one, and I just feel like it came out so much better on this one. It's really not too much different from how I normally do my brows, but they do look a little bit fluffier and more voluminous. And then after she went ahead and laid her brows, she went in with a brow pomade and a really thin brush to make those hair-like strokes. I'm not really a pomade type hoe. I'm more of like an eyebrow pen and pencil type hoe. So I'm gonna take this Undone Beauty, I think this is the Flawlush brow pen, I think that's what it's called, and I'm gonna take the pen side and just draw a couple hair-like strokes. So then this is the brows set in place with the pomade and then filled in with the brow pen. And then the last step that she did was she went ahead and she concealed underneath the brow to just kind of shape it up a little bit. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of my Fenty concealer on the back of my hand. And then I'm gonna take this e.l.f. concealer brush. It's got a really fine brush head. I'm gonna grab some of the concealer and I'm just gonna carve out the underneath of my brow. So here is the finished brow. So I'm not really mad at this brow. It does look really nice. It's really sleek. And my brows are already pretty full, but somehow this has made my brows look even fluffier. That being said though, I don't know that I would do this every day. I feel like my everyday brow routine, just running some brow gel through them real quick, honestly does me pretty much just as good in 30 seconds. If I wanted to put in a little bit extra effort and just put my makeup over the top, maybe I would do this, but I feel like for an everyday basis, I would just go ahead and stick with a brow gel, but I don't hate this. It's different. It looks good. All right, so now that my concealer has set a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out, taking this Real Techniques Expert face brush. I'm just gonna buff this concealer in. So now that I've gone ahead and buffed in the concealer, I'm ready to go ahead and even out the rest of my complexion real quick with just a little bit of foundation. So I'm gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint, but I did see this TikTok for a foundation hack that I wanna go ahead and try. Pretty simple premise. Essentially, you just take whatever foundation you plan to use and mix it in with a pore blurring primer, and it's supposed to help your foundation apply really smoothly, blur out your skin and all that. So I am kind of curious if this is gonna actually make my foundation look better or if this is gonna be a hot mess. Okay, so like I said, for foundation, I'm taking this Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint, and then for my pore blurring primer, I'm gonna take this Supergoop Mineral Matte Screen. This is a pore blurring mattifying primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake up the Eaze Drop, apply some of that to the back of my hand. I'm not gonna apply too much because I did go ahead and apply the concealer for that exact reason. I didn't want to have to go in with too much foundation. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and apply some of that matte screen. So here's what those two products look like on the back of my hand. And then to mix them, I really don't want to use my finger, so I'm just gonna take this skincare spatula and I'm gonna wipe it off with a little alcohol wipe here, just so that's all clean and whatnot. Don't want to be spreading bacterias and germs and none of that. Oop. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mix these two together on the back of my hand. Okay, interesting. Don't know how I feel about this texture. Feels kind of funny. Feels like it's applying more smoothly than normal. Okay, well now that I've made an absolute freaking mess, I'm gonna go ahead and take this Juno & Co sponge and I'm gonna go ahead and just blend this out a little bit. Actually, this really doesn't look bad at all. I wasn't sure what to expect for sure because the Supergoop primer isn't really a foundation. It's not meant to give me coverage. It definitely kind of sheared out the coverage that I would have otherwise gotten from the Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. But that being said, I don't mind. It actually doesn't look too bad. My fine lines and all that have been significantly reduced and my skin just looks so incredibly smooth. Like I'm just really ready to apply product on top. This is my skin up close. I did rub off a little bit of the concealer unfortunately, but that's okay. So I mean, this one, it's not a fail. I don't hate it, but I really just feel like personally for me, I would rather just go through the extra work of applying the pore blurring primer first and then the foundation. I feel like it would just give me a similar effect without shearing out the foundation, and I probably wouldn't have lifted the concealer as well. So I am just gonna go ahead and reapply a little concealer where I need it before I move on. So now that my complexion is all evened out and I have a good base to work with, I'm gonna start going in with some other complexion products. So I've seen a couple TikTok hacks that touch on things like blush, bronzer, and contour. So I've picked out a couple TikToks here that have some techniques I wanna try. I'm gonna kind of try and mesh everything together a little bit and see if I can pull it together and create a look. Hopefully it doesn't come out looking funny, but we'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with blush. I saw this one TikTok that really shows you how blush placement affects the shape of your face, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try.
How blush can change your face shape. Lift to shorten face. Enhance cheekbones. Add fullness. Stalk'r.
So I'm gonna try to go for what she did with this lifted look. I don't know if y'all can see, but it looks like she placed the blush on the high points of her cheeks here, and she placed it kind of like on the outer corner of her eye a little bit. So for my blush, I'm gonna be taking this OIS Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush. I'm taking mine here in the shade Confident, which is a pink cinnamon spice. I'm taking it on this AOA Studio high definition brush. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab some of the product on the brush head, and I'm gonna kind of dab it with the same placement that it seemed like she was doing. I'm gonna be really careful with this because this blush is really pigmented. Okay, so this is how it looks like she placed the blush for a lifted look. I'm taking this Real Techniques light layer blush brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that upwards. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit more. I don't want to go too heavy with this, so I want to really build it up layer by layer. I'm really interested to see if this actually does lift my face shape at all. Okay, here in the mirror, it does look like it kind of has, I don't want to say snatched my cheekbone, but it kind of does just like lift my face up a little bit. I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but like this side seems like really flat and dull, and then this side is just kind of like shoo. It's a subtle difference, but it's a difference nonetheless. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same technique on the other side. Okay, so subtly lifted the face a little bit, not really defining my cheekbones or anything like that. That's not really what I'm going for. Like I said, I have some other TikToks in here we're gonna get into. We're gonna do a whole bronzing, contour, all that. But I really wanted to see if this technique actually makes a difference in the appearance of the face shape. And it does seem like it has ever so slightly lifted my face. So this is the blush. Now we're gonna go ahead and get on to contour.
Alright, have you ever tried Maybelline's Instant Age Rewind Concealer for contour and highlight? When I'm telling you guys this will change the game, it will change the game. Add a little bit of cream blush to this, blend it all out, and then tell me that this is not the perfect mix of makeup.
I'm not going to do the whole contour and highlight with this. Really what stood out to me from this video was the contour. So really all I'm trying to mimic with this is the contour technique. I have something a little different for the highlight technique, like the under eye concealer, but I do want to mimic that contour placement though. So I'm going to take this Patrick Ta Cream Contour and Powder Bronzing Duo. This is in the shade She's Sculpted. I'm taking this Morphe M173 brush and I'm dipping it into this cream shade right here. This is the cream contour shade, and I'm really just going to mimic her placement of the cream contour. Okay, so here is the contour. I'm gonna leave the nose alone. I have a whole nother video that I'm gonna go ahead and try a nose contour with. So I'm gonna switch to another TikTok now for the under eye concealer, because like I said, I do want to do this like cream contour and highlight thing she has going on, but I'm gonna go ahead and forgo the heavy layering that she's doing and do something else.
Apply your concealer like this to slim your nose and elevate your face.
Okay, so for this, I'm gonna go in really lightly here in the inner corner because like I said, I have another video that I'm gonna follow for a nose contour. I'm not really trying to snatch up my nose per se, but I do wanna go ahead and just correct this under eye area a little bit, and I am gonna go ahead and apply in the outer corner as well to give it that lifted look. Here's what that's looking like. So taking the beauty blender that I used for the foundation, I'm gonna take a clean side and just buff everything in. So here's everything blended out. Holy contour. My cheekbones are like snatched out and lifted up. It's really subtle, but it is noticeable. I do have some like definition and some sculpt here. I love that. I feel like between the cream contour and then the highlight in the outer corner, the blush might have disappeared a little bit, but I'm not mad necessarily that it disappeared into my contour, and the contour itself actually looks really good. And I do see here with this concealer, it does look like it did lift my eyes ever so slightly. It's really just dependent on the color concealer that you use. I use one that's a little bit more in line with my skin tone, but I feel like if I use one that was a shade or two lighter even, it would have had an even more profound highlighting and lifting effect. But I'm not mad at it. It makes you look more alive and awake. So like I said, I have a special video that I'm gonna follow for a nose contour. Now, if y'all follow me for a while, you know that I do not contour my nose at all. I just don't see the point in it. And personally, I like the shape of my nose. I just wanna go ahead and try out this technique because it looked really interesting. And I wanna see if I can actually give myself like a mini nose job with a TikTok makeup hack. So let's go ahead and try this.
I might just hit it, hold on. That's not my element. I like dark skin.
Love a melanin, talk, pushing me to talk. When I'm stepping in, 30 bottles at the food till I'm sentiment. I had the Lambo, switch to the Rari. I'm a gangster, but I like to party.
Okay, see, this is what gets me, is when they start going in here and drawing the shapes and stuff. That's what makes me feel like this isn't gonna work. But I'm also really interested to try and see if this actually does do something. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. So I'm taking that same Patrick Ta cream and powder bronze duo. I'm gonna take that cream shade again. I'm just gonna go ahead and draw the shape that she made. Okay, so I've gone ahead and tried my best to do this nose shape. Hopefully I got it right. So I'm gonna take this e.l.f. I think this is their airbrush contour, and I'm just gonna go ahead and soften that a little bit. Okay, I'm still undecided. I don't know if I like this yet or not. And then I've got to powder my nose. I don't really have a loose powder, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to use a pressed setting powder. So I'm gonna take this LYS Beauty translucent setting powder, and this is in the shade Ambition, which is for medium to tan skin. It's got like a nice golden undertone, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Okay, so oh my gosh, wait, that looks so funny in the viewfinder. It doesn't look that funny in real life, but in the viewfinder, wow. Okay, well, here's my nose all powdered. I think it looks kind of funny, but that's just me. Okay, so I've let it sit for a second. I'm ready to go ahead and dust away the excess. So I'm gonna take this Real Techniques powder brush and just gently brush away any of the extra powder I might have chilling there. And then to go ahead and finish off the nose, I'm just gonna top it off with a little bit of highlight. So I'm gonna hit it with this Cover FX, the Perfect Light Highlighting Powder. This is in the shade Sunlight. And I'm taking this Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm gonna grab some of the highlighter on there and then just gently run it down the bridge of my nose. This is a really subtle highlight, so it's not really gonna do much, but I don't really want a super impactful highlighter. I just want something to really accentuate the bridge of my nose without going overboard. Okay, so here is the completed nose. So far, I think this is the only makeup hack that I don't really necessarily love. I don't know, I just feel like it didn't really snatch up my nose all that much. I mean, it looks a little bit like straighter, it's a little bit more accentuated and whatnot, but I just feel like I didn't really need to do all that. But to each their own. If you prefer a sculpted nose, I mean, more power to you. I just don't think it made a huge difference on me personally. And then lastly, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish everything off with a bronzer to just warm everything up. So I'm gonna go ahead and check this TikTok out real quick.
The difference between bronzer and contour. I'm going to apply bronzer on this side and contour on this side to show you guys the difference. Bronzer is used to warm up the face. The bronzer can have a little bit of glow, but it also can be matte. And as you can see, it is on the warmer side in terms of color. Contour is always matte and it's always cool toned. It's there to mimic shadows. With contour, you have to be a little bit more precise in application. It's all about creating dimension into your face. What do you prefer the look of? Bronzer or contour, or do you like doing both?
So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the bronzing technique real quick. I've already gone in with that Patrick Ta Sculpt, so I don't really need to do the contour step, but I do just want to warm up my face a little bit because I do feel like I still look a little, not washed out, but I could use a little bit more color in the face. I'm gonna take a powder brush because that's what she was using. I do have some dedicated bronzer brushes, but I feel like a powder brush, because it's less dense, will give me more of like a soft bronze look. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bronze my face, and it just looks like she was really just sweeping up with the bronzer. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. In the video, she really just showed how to do the face, but I'm gonna bronze the neck and the ears a little bit as well. And I'll do a little bit down here in the chin as well. That's pretty much it for my makeup look following TikTok makeup hacks. Some of these hacks are really useful and they really did make a huge difference. I really enjoyed that contour hack. I also feel like the blush hack really made a huge difference, even though the blush kind of did disappear once I worked in the cream contour and the concealer. And the brows too, it was a little bit of extra work than normal, but I really feel like it did make that extra difference in how the brows look. They do look a little bit more full than normal, and I like to keep them looking neat on a daily basis, but they just look extra neat and extra clean right now, and I'm really here for it. But you know, some of the other hacks didn't really work out too well. The nose contour in particular, I don't hate it. I just don't feel like it came out like how I was expecting it to. I was expecting this huge dramatic transformation, and I really feel like that hack just kind of underperformed and underwhelmed me. Let me know what y'all think of this look. Do you think I killed it? Let me know down in the comments, what do you think? But that's it for my video. If y'all enjoyed it, please be sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Be sure to leave a comment down below letting me know what you liked about this video or what you disliked. Also leave a comment down below if you have a request for a specific video topic. Be sure to go ahead and leave those down below as well so I can keep those in mind when I'm sitting down and thinking of things to film. Like I said, if you haven't already, please be sure to just go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell button as well so I can get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, I should be back shortly with new content. Bye.